I'm going to bring in our guest. We have Janine Brown Miller is joining us today, and we're so happy to have her on. She is a friend of the Chamber, a member of the Chamber with JBM HR Consulting, and we have had her. Let's see, we've had you involved in many different things for the Chamber, from our strategic planning about 5 years ago to hosting our HR seminars to helping with our employee manual. So Janine just does it all. Welcome, Janine, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
This is easy for you. You are used to doing this type of interaction. So you're a pro at it. Tell us what you've been doing the past couple months, specifically like this.
I will. And thank you so much. It's always fun to be with all of you and everybody at the Chamber that I'm able to work with. So thank you. Yeah, this has been an unusual time, as we all know. I've done a lot of the video conferencing and live chats and that sort of thing, trying to keep everybody up on the latest and greatest with the COVID updates and that sort of thing. So that kept me busier than I thought I would be during that time with that topic, but it continues. But during that time, I also realized that I wanted to create something that is specifically, I guess, focused on small business, that those people that really don't think they can get high-level HR support. And I was trying to find ways that we could package it that it would be affordable, useful, and easy to access. Sure. So yes, I put together a monthly subscription package, which has actually 3 different levels of membership. And with that comes one-to-one consulting with the client, and it varies depending on the package you get in terms of the time. But there's also discounts on webinars. I do private chats with clients. I also keep them updated on the not only hot topics, but specific things they need to be implementing. So it becomes a group that we make sure that people are well informed. So it's really been fun to, I guess, approach it this way. Everybody's on the computer or on their phones anyway. So I thought, you know what, let's just offer something where I can have some online consulting and some price points that really anybody can afford. So there are different packages. I also have, a library of webinars that they would have access to. I continually update that content as well. So it's for really those people that are on the run. They're busy. They don't really have time to focus on this issue, but they need to. And I'm trying to present it in a way that is easy for them to get and quickly be able to apply what they do get. The employee handbook, as you mentioned earlier, I do have certainly a sample online that they would have access to at a discounted rate. But I think the key point with this is the one-to-one consulting. I really want people to feel that they can have someone to call that does have a lot of experience, because I do know there's a little competition out there. But what I have learned is that they get somebody different all the time when they call some of these companies, or they're not really well versed in the field. And this is a complex field. Believe me, I've been doing it 30 years and I'm learning literally daily. So I wanted to be able to offer that level of HR expertise to any size business and business owner out there.
Sure.
So we're doing that. I'm also looking to do communications through texting now, because with all my marketing IT people that are helping me, this is the platform that I think most people like most. So I'm starting to develop, people to be on there so I could offer tips. I do not do a lot of them. You would not be bombarded, but they would be very pertinent, I would say, hot topics in HR that somebody really does need to pay attention to. So that's kind of the gap I'm trying to fill here, particularly with the small businesses. Certainly my consulting business has been on larger organizations, more traditional consulting, and I love every bit of that, of course. I just wanted to grab a new audience that doesn't feel like they really have the access they need, and to try to deliver it in a manner that is easy for them and affordable.
Sure. So you cover a little bit of everything. You are able to do the one-on-one to the larger businesses or organization that maybe don't have an HR arm, or have one but need more in-depth information. Right. So you're able to cover all of the gamut. I know we have been very lucky. I do tell everybody that Suzanne is our HR. I said, go to HR. Well, it's just we only have 2 in our organization, so that's a running joke with us. But there have been many times we have really needed the professional services services, and found you having that information and giving us the guidance on where to go. So you've provided us with templates and documents, and really one-on-one going through what we need and what we didn't need for certain aspects of our business, and we appreciate that. So if somebody is looking to hire you, you can either go to the website and find and look and see what they need, or they can consult with you for a different type of plan. So what are the range of services that right now you're seeing most businesses needing, especially over the past couple months with COVID hitting?
Well, I'm finding that this COVID and these regulations have made people realize they're non-compliant in a lot of the HRs. So we go right down to the HR assessment, which I also offer. And that's a nice way to go through your operations and determine where your largest gaps are. So I often start there with clients and say, okay, let's just see where you are now. And then we start making sure that we, time what their changes need to be based on the level of vulnerability. There's a whole gap. And then more immediately, though, I've been doing a lot of safety plans with them. So the immediate thing is, let us get COVID compliant. And that's all well and good. But then they start worrying about everything else. And they need to. So we do bring it full circle. So right from the assessment, usually they need a handbook. Usually they need some job descriptions. And this doesn't need to be overly complex. It just needs to be informative, and job descriptions need to happen because that's usually where employees fall short. They pop in a place and they really don't know what they're supposed to be doing. People just assume they do. So something like that, and then a way to measure performance. So those three things we try to tie together in a manner that fits the business owner's personality and style. So there's no one size fits all with this. I'm very much focused on how I can make the experience feel natural to them, but ensuring that they're in compliance. So yes, the HR assessments I have online. I do have a free one, by the way. They can give it a shot if they'd like to. That's available on the website. And then, of course, there's more in-depth. And through that assessment, it'll kind of inform you how you answer, what you need to be thinking about quickly, too. So it gives them sort of a sense of how vulnerable they can be. And then beyond that, the actual one-to-one time is what they need. Because even though, people can look and they try to maneuver websites themselves, it's difficult. They really need someone to help them focus on what they need. And then I give them what they need accordingly. But it's the verbal type of interaction that really matters. And there's no, here's the most important thing. Right now, everybody's, of course, COVID crazy. But I will say this, that the enforcement is now in effect. And I think people need to be really paying attention to that right now, because the governor, as of just before this call, I got off a legal update, sending out all sorts of spies. And the areas that seem to be most vulnerable are the restaurants that offer liquor. So it's going to be very important for anybody listening out there in those industries in particular to be sure people are complying, because they're taking liquor licenses right on the spot.
Sure, so that's one thing we've made sure, you have a license with the state, especially any type, whether that's you have your career in doing hair, or you have a liquor license, any type of license with the state. That's one of the first places that we have suggested maybe, where things are checked up on a little bit more. And, yes. That's definitely for certain. Having those templates and having those safety plans is so important. Having it on paper too. It's just it's something that every business needs.
Right. The other part of that is not only on paper, but they're monitoring it very closely, because it's so easy to get all the communications out there and train the employees and talk to them. But if somebody isn't out there policing that it's actually happening, that's where someone will fall short. And I don't know about you, but there's a lot of masked police out there. And there's a whole lot of compliance people out there watching everybody's move. So now I think the governor even has a place that your average citizen can, put in formal complaints. So it's kind of gotten, whether you like it or not, it's out there. And I think we just need to be sure, especially as business owners, that we're doing absolutely everything we can to stay off that type of radar. And you're right about the licensing. those are the places they'd like to go first, for sure, because it's easy. And they really are so highly regulated. I mean, a lot of those places already have a lot of high regulation, so this just added that many more. But yes, if you do have a license, it is in jeopardy if, and the other thing about the business owners is it's their space around them they're responsible for too, not within 100 feet or something. So it's it's a big deal if people are lingering around your business and they're not in compliance. It's something the business owners expected to keep track of. So,
Sure, definitely.
those kind of calls, frantic calls, actually, I get some of those, but, luckily I do have the resources to stay as current as possible. So I can easily help people get through those stressful situations. And I'm really happy to be doing that. So again, because I know so many, especially the small business people, don't tend to focus or really even want to spend the money on it, I wanted to make it so that, listen, you have to take the time, you have to focus on this. Here's a way that might make it a little easier for you to do so. So that's why I did try to offer those packages online. But, as you know, I'm here to do the in-person, the traditional, whatever type of training people need. There are still a whole lot of people that prefer that. So regardless of these online options, they still would say, well, can you give me your other proposal as well? Because, they're still used to that. So whatever works is what, I'm here to do and here to help with.
And
And,
over the past,
no, go ahead.
So over
No,
the
I
past
just wanted,
couple, your turn.
okay. No, I wanted to mention that our future collaboration, because remember we were going to do the HR live chats and then the COVID hit and whatever, but just so people know listening that we'll be doing a monthly chat with the chamber and some other organizations that we're going to come together and try to keep everybody up on topics that are relevant. So I think it's important for people to know that, because I know you've gotten good responses. We certainly have to the live chats we were doing. And again, it's a quick way to get really good information and also a way to interact. We always do Q&A time. So I'm hoping, it's one of those things, why I like those live chats is people can be working, have their earbuds in and still participate, because that's what business owners need to do. And I understand that you can't go away to some other place to get your information. So that's really that's what I'm trying to accommodate is our busy lives, but yet you do need to be able to get the information you need when you need it. So
Sure. That's what I was going to bring up. You've also been leading a few of these online talks pretty much weekly. It might be every other week now. Tell us a little bit about those and how they've helped business owners.
Okay, we actually ran them weekly, and we just stopped when people started going back to work, because we realized their minds are going to be somewhere else right now. But every week for, I bet it was 12, we would bring on subject matter experts. I don't like to use that topic all the time, but we really did. We had some great people on to just give us the latest and greatest with what they know related to COVID. It was very focused on what are we doing through these tough times. But we also hit the mental health aspect pretty heavily, because we had a lot of inquiries, and I know through my contact with clients, I was getting calls about that. So trying to not only share resources that are out there, but also give tips. So we had some mental health professionals on. We had certainly people related to, how you handle PPP. We had accountants, we've had lawyers, we've had people from SBA. We've had, can't remember them all now, but we really tried to, whatever was the latest and hottest topic out, we would grab somebody that was more sort of, behind the scenes, knowing more than most of us, and they were on to talk about it. And we do a half hour of information sharing and then a half an hour of question and answer. And we'd also ask people to submit questions ahead of time too, or offer suggestions on topics they wanted to hear about. So we really had a great run of it. We had anywhere from 15 to 20 some people on a week. They were not all the same, which we wouldn't expect, because depending on the topic, of course, it attracts different people. So I know there is that interest and need out there, but we just thought, every week is too frequent now for, people trying to get back to work. And so we wanted to expand, and that's why we contacted you regarding a larger project, I guess, that maybe we would do monthly in reaching out to our particular constituents to join in and hear different topics as we go along. I'm not quite sure. we're gonna have to have an organization meeting yet, Jennifer. We're still working on
Sure.
that.
Hopefully in person with wine or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
that sounds good to me. Yeah,
Yes.
but
Well, thank you, Janine, for joining us today on
yes,
our Roam the Region. We've made it to 30 episodes like this. Um,
excellent.
when we started this, it was every day, because it was something to do. And Suzanne and I missed each other, and there was a lot to cover. And as soon as people started to going back to work and things opened up, we realized we are still apart, but moved these to twice a week now. So it's nice with the beautiful weather out. People are out and about, and with the phases now in phase 4, it's more and more people are back to work. So
Yeah.
I think this type of interaction though is definitely not going to go away. It's
No, it's
definitely going to
not.
be with us for a while. But
Right.
there's something to be said about the one-on-one. It's nice to be able to see people. I know when Suzanne and I are in the office by ourselves, we see the mailman. Our poor mailman Sean. It's like we haven't seen somebody all morning, and then all of a sudden he comes in, and we keep him there for 20 minutes.
He's very concerned about you, by the way. He wanted to see how you were doing.
Oh, with my fork, I told him my fork story yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes, I told him I'd update him on Wednesday. So tomorrow when I'm back in the office, hopefully by then things will have moved. Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
But only me. It is still in there. I can feel it. But hopefully Dr. Andres will take care of it tomorrow. We'll see. But so go to hrwebsource.com. We also have the number you can text JBM to get the tips. And stay tuned, because the Chamber will be doing some things with Janine in the near future. We have a few people that wanted to say hello, specifically Janine. Kevin Krasnowski, he says JBM
no.
with a ton of exclamation marks after that, because he's so excited to see you.
Well, tell him I'm sorry I don't have my backdrop, but it just doesn't work for me that well.
Yes, he does those virtual backdrops. That's for sure. Well, we hope everyone can join in again with us on Friday at 1:30. We'll have more of an updated list of things that are unfortunately not happening this weekend. But the weather's nice, 90s all week, so a little too hot for me, but perfect week to get outside. So thanks everyone for joining. Janine, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we hope
Bye-bye.
everyone has a good day.